Slip another leprechaun. You wanna fight, then step up and we'll get it on. You get a right to the grill. I'm right to the ill. A descendant of Dublin with Titanic skill. I ducked and I swing, next thing your jaw's broken. Punk, I ain't joking. You can bet you be choking on a fistful of nothing. Meanwhile, I'll be puffing on a fat blood. What punk? You don't know the hat. Trying to talk shit, man. Please don't make me laugh. These Irish guys are smiling. I'm up while in the house of pain is.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Big Irish J grinding on eBay. Let's get situated here. That is going to be the new intro and outro. House of Pain, love them, grew up on them. One of the greatest, I would say, not rap, not rock, but kind of like a mix. Of in between. So, I like House of Pain. If anybody doesn't know, the lead singer of House of Pain went on to be the lead singer of Everlast. So, let's get that started. Okay, so we're going to get started today, and let's see. I'm kind of winging it today, so the topic's going to be, first of all, we have a big eBay thing going on. I just watched a Rockstar Flipper show. Shout out to Rockstar Flipper. And apparently eBay is going to be structuring something somewhat like Amazon's FDA or whatever it's called. Where you can ship your items into eBay, and for a percent, they're still going to charge you 10%, but you'll have other fees on top of it where they will, they will pull, pick, and pack your item, and they will ship it to the customer, which has its ups and downs for me because first of all, I am not a high-ranking seller, and also I don't sell very expensive things, and I think in order for you to be able to be a part of something like that, you are going to have items that, cost a few dollars so you can make some money. Now, I will stick with my platform the way I do it right now as I'm doing it. But in the future, if the money flow starts flowing a little bit better, I definitely think that the idea is good. And I believe that people can make a lot of money off of it. And, you don't have to deal with the customer. You don't have to deal with the shipping. You don't have to deal with the merchandise. All you have to do is ship the merchandise to eBay. eBay will then, take your items and, I'm sure they'll have to put some barcodes on them and stuff like that, which is probably going to cost you some money. But say somebody orders something off your, off of eBay that is yours. It gets pulled, picked, and packed and shipped by eBay. Same thing Amazon's doing, and it's not really a bad idea for people who sell at a very high volume. And maybe you can do a partial part of your business for the eBay. Their new. FDE, I think it's going to, I don't know what it's going to be called, to be honest with you, but, I think the structure is going to be good, and I also think that if you're a person that sells at a high volume, you won't be so overwhelmed because you can now ship maybe half of your merchandise over to eBay and let them handle a certain amount of the high-priced items where you're still going to make money, and you can still handle business at home on the lower-priced items. So, okay, sorry about that, everybody. I had to answer the important phone call. It seems like every time I do a show, that's the time everybody wants to call me. If anybody doesn't know, I use my phone, and because I don't have my camera yet, I'm working on a very, very low budget, but, we're getting there, that this is what it's all about, I'll just say it, a lot of people out there are going to be like, oh, you're so corny for saying that, but started from the bottom, now we're here, baby, you know what I mean? One of these days I'll be able to say that, and, like I was saying, the new eBay structure, I think is a good idea if you're a high ranking seller and you sell a good amount of stuff. I'm not at that point yet, but if I was at a point where I had to handle 1,000 items, and out of that 1,000 items, maybe like 200 or 300 of them were, items that were, 80, 60, $80 or more, sending them into eBay and letting them handle them would be a good idea, because they're going to do the advertising for you. They're going to do everything. All you're going to have to do is take the pictures, and you're probably going to have to buy barcodes, slap barcodes on things, and send it in, and they will handle the rest. Now, that is going to help out with a lot of things as far as customer service, because now when you get a dispute on something and eBay shipped it out, you're more likely not to have to take the L, because eBay's the one that packed it, eBay's the one that shipped it out, and eBay is the one that knows, like, listen, we packed it up, we shipped it out, we looked at the item, everything was fine, so we're not going to be able to give you a refund, and that's going to probably help people in the long run, because we all know we have predators out there in the selling world, on e-commerce levels, that they prey on people and try to get free items, and they act like they're dissatisfied, but really they love the item and they just wanted to get either a discount or maybe even get it for free. In a lot of cases they do. I know I've cut my losses on a couple things. I talked to you about this on my last episode. Sometimes you have to think about how much something cost me, and if I have to give a return and then have to pay I already paid to ship it out, because I offer free shipping now, and now I'm going to have to pay to bring it back to me. I got to kind of balance things out a little bit. If the cost of shipping and bringing back an item is more than what the item is worth and what that I paid for it, I'm just going to let it go and let them keep it. It's going to keep my feedback rating good. It's going to keep my customers happy, and it's going to keep me with a whole lot less headache. So that is a good, good structure. Now, my next topic is, being a new reseller. I'm about 2.5 months into the business, and it's kind of like a roller coaster for me right now. And what happens is that I'll have periods of times where I'm selling so many things that I can't pack them fast enough, in a week. And then I have times where I'm waiting around and I won't sell anything for a week or maybe more, and it gets frustrating. But that's also my fault, because I need to take a look at my inventory and I tweak things. And like I said, now I offer free shipping, which kind of entice a lot of people into buying a lot of the items that we're selling, which was great. But I still have a lot of the dead pile items, that's just an eBay term for things that you buy that are just not going to sell. There are just some things that are just not going to sell. And you're going to have to suck that up and either donate it to eBay, or, maybe gift it to somebody, ask around into the people that hey, I got this, are you interested, would you like it, gift it to somebody, I would rather take the loss of the money by gifting it to a friend or a family member, or donating it to make me feel good in my heart, than just letting it sit around and collect dust in my house. I mean, you can only liquidate stuff but so much before, it's like, I'm not going to give the thing away. I'd rather just give it to somebody that I know, So, we're donated to the, not the Goodwill or the Salvation Army. There's other places you can donate it to, shelters for men and women who need things like clothing or whatever it may be. It doesn't make a difference. Christmas time comes around, you could donate items for Christmas presents, and these people will be very appreciative towards it, because, in the community that I live in, these people can use all the help they can get. So I'm very passionate about helping people and seeing people happy, especially children. So, we want to see our communities flourish. We want to see our people flourish. And, we don't want to live in, this detrimental, low income housing, and be categorized as worthless, So, we want to make our community flourish. And the only way you can do that is you. Okay, so I got that little vented out a little bit there. That's not really the topic, of my show, but that's just how I feel. Okay, so, like I said, it's been a roller coaster for me, and it's funny because sometimes it comes when I really need it, like when I really need the money, I'll wake up the next morning and I'll have already sold a couple things, which is like, oh, thank you, Lord, because, sometimes, see, I'm doing this as a full-time business right now because I'm in a wheelchair. I can stand up, I can walk a little bit, but I'm not quite there yet. But, I'm really excited about maybe getting back to work and making this a part. I can still do this full-time even from work. I can use my nighttime hours to post and list, and I can still check on and also be able to wheel and deal on my phone during the day on my lunch breaks and things like that. So, I'm really excited about maybe getting back to work. I don't think I'll be going back to work where I was because, as far as I know, they laid a lot of people off there. But I am really, really, really shout outs to Stephen Reagan because he's the person that that really makes me think about the things that are going on with me in my life, and Rockstar Flipper. These are the people that really, and Bonafide Hustler, I can't forget you too, man, with that wild hair and that, physique that I wish I had, he's got pecs, I don't even know what you call what I have. But, shout outs to these guys who keep me focused and who keep me with my head in the game, because I don't think if it was for guys like this that I watch every day, I would have probably given up already. And you can't give up. You just can't do it. You can't, if you're passionate about something and you want this, like I want to be a full-time e-commerce seller on multiple platforms, and I want to be able to bring in enough money to be able to not only to support my family, but tuck a little bit away and, maybe take vacations and stuff. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very high possibility for you to do it. It's just, if you talk to anybody, like, I use Stephen Reagan as a catalyst all the time, only because I watch more of him than anybody else. But, he's been into this business for 6 or 7 years now. And like he said in the beginning, he started out of the bedroom of his mom's place, and I'm sure it took some time for him to move out of mom's place and into his own place. And, things take time. And, I'm one of them type of people who, I want it now, I want everything now, and I got to learn that, things take time, and with time and patience, you can flourish and you can let things grow, as they're supposed to, because as we all know, like a flower, if you try to rush a flower into growing, before it's ready, it will just wilter on you and it will die, and that's not what I want to happen to my business. I don't want it to wilter and die. So, I got to be patient, and I have to, I just got to keep, listening to the people that are teaching me, and I need to be able to, just have the patience within myself to be able to start doing a little bit more studying into what I'm going to be good at, because, I sell a lot of games. I do. I sell more games than anything else. And I've sold some other things, but for the most part, it's been electronics and games. So, that would probably be my niche. That would probably be what I would want to go into. I would want to do a whole not 360, because at 360, I think you're going right back to where you started from, but a 180 would be me basically changing my whole forum, and I really want to go into the camping and survival business. I think it's a good business, bushcraft, things like that. And I want to start promoting outdoors a little bit more because, I do sell games, but it's not what I'm passionate about. I only sell games because that is just so happens to be what sells. I had some laying around. My friend gave me a bunch of them, and that's what's selling. But, I really want to try. My passion is to try to start pushing for, outdoor camping, survival equipment, bushcraft, because we need to start, trying to get our kids outside instead of being inside all the time. So, with that being said, that's where I would like it to go. But sometimes, what you want and what is working are two different things. And you have to make a choice, and, as much as I would love to go into the survival gear and, the bushcrafting and the camping gear and all that kind of stuff, I got to take a look at how much money I would have to invest in all this stuff. How much money would I need up front to be able to put into this? I've never really been into a thrift store where I've seen too much of that stuff. I mean, maybe out in, I'm in the inner city, so maybe on the outer city, there would be thrift stores like that, but I take buses, and I'm in a wheelchair, so it's just a little bit harder for me right now. So right now I'm going to stick with the gaming stuff, maybe even start getting into gaming systems, and maybe even start looking out for, any kind of gaming stuff, whether it be headphones. These are actually gaming headphones. They're not actually meant for using on a phone, but they work. These are what gaming the gaming community would use to play their live Xbox games or whatever, where they communicate with other people. And I got them for a very cheap price, and I know I could probably sell them for a lot more. But the thing is being able to source your items from places, and spending. A lot of people think for some reason that when you are working on eBay that it's not a real job. Let me tell you something. I haven't been able to go out and spend any money lately because 99% of the income that is coming in right now is going towards bills because, like I said, this is a full-time job. But if, things started to go well for me, I would have to be out there every single day trying to find stuff to list. My goal by the end of I'm not going to say by the end of this year because I don't, we're already getting up, to the middle, but by the middle of next year, I would like to have 1,000 items listed. That's my goal. I want to have 1,000 items listed on eBay. And maybe that's a far reach, for a year's period, but, I think it's possible. I really do think it's possible if I just am disciplined and I'm able to keep my head in the game. Because the one thing is that if you're passionate about something, you have to take the time to put the effort in. And I know that I'm not putting nowhere near as much effort as I know I could. And I'm just talking to the new reseller here. I am not much further ahead than you are. If you're just beginning, don't get discouraged. There's a lot of BS talk about eBay and how it's not a good platform to sell on, and they take 10% of your profits, which it is high, but you got to take a look at what it would cost to, sell on Amazon or something like that. It would be much more. So what I'm saying is that eBay, you can make money with eBay. Trust me. There's some disagreements that I have with some things, but, I don't think everybody's going to be happy with every structure that they have. But, you got to get over it. You got to take it on the chin, because if you want to have a good, successful, flourishing business, you are going to have to suck up a few things. So I continually, every day, my routine is the same. Every day I go out in the morning, and I do my little thing, whether it be shopping or whether it be just, looking around and, see what I can get with the little itty bitty, bit of money that I have. I come back, I put on my TV and on my Chromecast, I watch on my phone from YouTube, I watch, the newest Stephen Rakin, the Rakin Profit show, the newest show, Rockstar Flipper, Bonafide Hustler, and there's many more. And, and I watch, the episodes, and every day I learn something new, and it makes me even more of a better seller. So, cheers to those guys, man, because, I know how frustrated I can get sometimes in this business, and you guys have been doing this for much longer than me. And, I know that if you guys can make it through, I can make it through. I am determined. I have a good work ethic. I speak well. I can do really good at customer service. Sometimes, like I said, if you can look at my eyes, you get that one customer that it's just hard. But for the most part, I do good customer service. I give everybody gets a fair one from me. So a lot of the times I take a lot on the chin, and I take extreme losses for the benefit of having a better ranking, because the ranking for me is more important than the item, because without the ranking I can't sell anything else. If I have a bad ranking, what's the point of even trying? Because people are going to look and say, well, look, this guy really has some crappy feedback, and I don't know if it'd be a good idea to buy from this guy. So I have 100% feedback rate. I take care of all my customers. Out of the 2.5 months that I have been selling, I have had 3 incidents, and out of those 3 incidents, I will take accountability of 2 of them, and 2 of them because I just started. I wasn't too sure about how things went. So, if you are coming in as a new seller to the eBay community, I want to welcome you first, and I want to say that, don't get discouraged. You're not going to make $1 billion, your first week. First of all, let me tell you, and I've said this in other episodes, when you first come in, you're only allowed to sell 10 items. But if you are passionate enough about what you do and you're a well-spoken person like I am, I called eBay and I said, listen, these are my goals, this is my plan, this is what I want to do, and 10 items just don't it doesn't work into my plan. And I mean, like 2 minutes later, the guy gets back on the phone and says, Mr. Wakefield, we have some good news for you. We are going to put you up to 100 items. When they put me up to 100 items, it felt like Christmas. I was finally able to start. It was even hard in the beginning to try to get these 100 items up, because I don't have people working for me. I'm taking my own pictures. I'm doing my own listings. I don't have, systems in place to do a lot of the things for me. So, everything is done by me personally. So, I think when you're more personal into each and every individual piece that you're doing, you're more passionate about, setting a standard on a price and keeping with that standard, because, you might have to turn down a deal or two because it's just not lucrative for you, I always leave the option open for, before I started doing free shipping, I always left the option open for a negotiation. But now that I do free shipping, I don't negotiate. I'm setting a fair price. All I'm doing is asking what I want for the item, and I'm only adding in the shipping, which I can pretty much calculate, the shipping on the things that I ship out now, especially with the flat rate envelopes and, flat rate poly bags and, flat rate boxes and, the other things that I use. I know how much a game or a movie costs to ship out, I don't even, unfortunately, I can't even afford ink for my computer. For my printer right now. So, you know, it's just one of them things, you know. You got to start somewhere, and I am starting at the bottom, but I will be up there. You know, I would have loved to have been able to buy Stephen Rakin's. You know, he did a webinar that I watched, and you know, I was in on, and he had an amazing deal on, you know, a bunch of different things that you could sell on eBay, and you know, he put his life work into this stuff, and you know, I would have been I would have loved to have been able to put out the money that it cost to get it, because you know, it would have made me that much better of a seller and that much more knowledge. But unfortunately, in my situation, you know, the money, I just couldn't do it. So, you know, but I suggest of anybody, you know, if you're new to eBay and you are trying to learn how to do a lot of things, yes, I mean, I'm not going to say don't listen to me, because I do have some knowledge. You know, I could teach you about, you know, just the stuff that I'm going through and the stuff that I've learned. But I also suggest that you, you know, add Stephen Rakin and Bonafide Hustler and Rockstar Flipper in to your subscriptions, and listen to these guys every day, you know, and get the feedback that you need, because this is something that you cannot do alone. It's very hard. You know, there's things that you're going to need to know in the beginning that I didn't know, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I had to learn a lot of mistakes, and I took a lot of stuff on the chin. Like, you know, there's been times where I've been giving stuff to people, you know, because I didn't know what the shipping rates were, and you know, I thought that, you know, because I paid $350 to ship this one thing, it's only going to cost that to ship it. No, it didn't work like that. So, you know, with that being said, you know, I'm not going to make this a long video. I'm just going to say that, you know, take your time, let your business flourish. You know, learn. Knowledge is 99% key to this business. The 1% is the actual, you know, for me, only for me, knowledge is 99% of this business. And then the 1% is the listing and the pictures and you know, because the knowledge of knowing how to do all this stuff is going to sell your product better, and it's going to put it into a higher, you know, they're going to push it higher up on the list. You know, if something has a better picture, it's going to go higher up on the list, you know, rather than, you know, you're throwing a pair of pants on the floor and, you know, you're not going to be able to get, you know, a good, you know, selling rank, because, you know, you can't just throw a pair of pants on the floor. You know, it just goes to show the customer that if you don't care about the item, why should I care enough to buy it? So, you know, it's just some personal experience. You know, once I started going through my items and started, you know, I made up a little background, and, you know, if I can show you real quick, I mean, right now it's full of stuff, but, you know, this is my little background right here, you know, where I'm putting my coffee down on. I got a black background on the desk, and this background you never really see, but this is really the only little spot that I need to take my pictures. And when I take my pictures, the pictures come out great, you know, and sometimes I need a weight cloth, you know, and I interchange things depending on what I'm selling. You know, if it's a colorful thing, for me, I like to put it on a black background because it pops more. And if it's something that is a light thing, more of a vibrant thing, I like to, you know, put it, or I'm sorry, if it's like a dark, really dark thing, I like to put it on a white cloth because, again, it makes it pop. And this is what I'm talking about. And this is the kind of things you can learn if you, you know, watch some of these people that I spoke about and send shout outs to. You know, if you listen to what they're saying, you're going to understand a whole lot more of what you need to do. So, don't get discouraged. Just keep at it. Keep pushing. Keep trying to live that dream. And you know, that's all I can really say. You know, my name is Big J. You know, and this is Big J grinding on eBay. And with that, you know, I'm gonna get out of here. Everybody have a good day, and God bless.
Start jumping, freak it, funk it, boxing, chunk it. If you can't get with it, you end up sweating it. Then you get a beating just like an egg. It's so hard to run when you got a broken leg, but we can never run off the house if it'll come off. We got the cake that you're trying to get a crumb off. The Irish styling, the Celtic jazz. No one has it, just us stacks it.